Thanks, Jerry, for the touching and humbling introduction. You're always a tough act to follow, but I'll do my level best. First, I'd like to thank the Institute for honoring me with this award, and all my friends and family for being here to share it. Particularly my great pal, and as Jerry alluded to, my Springsteen buddy, Corey Winograd, who made the effort to come all the way from Florida. For better or worse, each and every one of you has helped mold me into who I am and what I've become. I couldn't have achieved what little I have without your invaluable contributions. Special mention goes to my wonderful parents who set an impeccable example, taught me right from wrong, and put me through school, and to my loving wife, Zena, who always has my back and somehow manages to live with me every day. It's a blessing and a privilege to have nearly all the people I really care about here in one room. The most conspicuous absence, of course, is my late sister, Gwen. I dedicate this award to her memory and her inspiration. That aside, I'd be relatively contented were I to leave this earth tonight. I'm not much of an observant Jew, but Judaism is an integral part of my identity, and it played a key role in shaping my career choice. I've always been drawn to outsiders and to plucky upstarts. And throughout history, Jews have been the ultimate underdogs and scapegoats, falsely accused, like some criminal defendants, of an endless parade of horribles that they had nothing to do with. That's true of Israel especially, and it's one reason I'm an unrepentant Zionist. The consummate expression of Jewish perseverance and determination, Israel is a nation that's overcome incredible odds to literally rise from the sand, willing itself into an industrial, technological, and military powerhouse. Now, in my experience, the secular world may tolerate Jews when we're timid and weak, but not so much when we grow bold and strong. So Israel naturally takes a lot of flack these days, some of it unfortunately from Jews themselves. With all the invective hurled in Israel's direction, it's easy to look past the country's humble origins and take its dynamo status for granted. It's easy to forget that it wasn't always this way, that Israel wasn't always the economic and political marvel it is today. It's easy to lose sight of the challenges Israel had to meet, the struggles it had to face, and the obstacles it had to scale to get where it is. Hard as it seems to believe from what we hear and read, Israel's continued existence and success are by no means foregone conclusions. The country was founded on the lofty ideals, and we heard about this earlier, of tikkun olam, the healing of the world, and serving as a light unto nations. To be sure, it has sometimes fallen short of those noble aspirations, and like any free society, it's far from perfect. But it is one of the world's only true democracies, getting it right much more often than not. And I may be preaching to the choir here, but Israel still needs our help and support, perhaps more than ever given the surge in global anti-Semitism and the country's mounting isolation. And I'm not talking about mere financial support. I'm talking about a more important kind of support. I'm talking about ethical, intellectual, and spiritual support. I'm talking about forcefully countering scurrilous blood libels that liken Zionism to Nazism. I'm talking about vigorously rejecting false moral equivalencies that paint a vibrant, thriving, well-meaning people with the same brush as terrorists. Terrorists who deliberately target civilians, hide their weapons in plain sight amid homes, schools, and houses of worship, and intentionally place their women and children in harm's way. And I'm talking about doing all this vigilantly and relentlessly, whenever and wherever these canards rear their ugly heads. So while we're lamenting perceived injustices in Ferguson and Staten Island, while we're championing worthy causes like marriage and racial equality, let's pause for a moment to recall and heed a different injunction. An injunction that's less grandiose, but every bit as imperative as tikkun olam. The injunction that charity begins at home. Thanks for coming and listening, and thanks again for the award. Cheers.